Every time I think about the boat journey and how we were without food, without water, and the engine kept stalling on us because many boats and ships had passed us by and they didn't stop for us. We were out at sea, basically drifting into death because there was no clear direction and no land in sight. There were 82 of us on a boat that was really meant for about 10 people. I and my family, we moved to Singapore last year around about January, and it was a very strange feeling for me because I have a history back in Singapore. When I was 4 years old, I came as a refugee, part of the Vietnamese boat people, and I really never thought I would be coming back to Singapore to live or to be a part of this country. So for my husband to make that decision for the family and to relocate us back to Singapore was quite a big deal. I wasn't sure if I was ready to come back to Singapore, but now that I'm here, I feel like there's this sense of connection with Singapore that I had not felt before. And since coming back, I've been able to really try and figure out what that connection was and what the history behind being a Vietnamese refugee in Singapore has been for me. My desire to find my rescuers came from a place where I wanted to know all about the people who were involved in rescuing my family when we escaped Vietnam. I had only one postcard at the time of the ship that had rescued my family, and I thought, well, why don't I go on a journey, find these people, the captain, the crew people, and let them know that they have not just rescued my family, but they have impacted the generations to come. I remember only one incident on the boat and the ship, and that was when my uncle put me on his back and I had to hold him really tightly as he climbed up the ladder. Yep. And I remember it being very cold and windy and how frightened I was as a little girl, and I thought I would fall off into the sea because I didn't really know what was happening, but I was told to hold on tight. And how weak my uncle was because we hadn't eaten for 5 days and 4 nights, and when I think about that, I can't help but feel like if your ship didn't come, we would have died. Mm-hmm. I would not have been alive, and my children would not have a future today. Every night since I have been on this journey to find my rescuers, I've been thinking about why I feel so passionate about finding my rescuers, and it's because your ship, your country gave us a second chance. 82 people have a future now, and they have children and they have grandchildren because Norway, the Berge Taster, your whole crew paid it forward for us. Yep. I can't believe it. Yeah. Singapore was the first country that accepted my family as boat refugees, and we were here for about 4 to 5 months. And that was a very significant time for my family to recuperate from being out at sea for 5 days and 4 nights. It was a time for my family to really gain strength, nutrition, have a safe place to live before we were resettled into Australia.
When you see a small fishing boat like that in the middle of nowhere, like South China Sea, we could just have missed them in the dark or whatever. There will be no family here in Singapore, there will be no family in Australia, no families in Norway. So thinking back on what we did, it makes you happy. You know that we have done a good thing and that we have saved 82 lives that has become 500 lives or 1,000 lives.
For me today to actually meet you as one of the crew people who rescued my family is
is a miracle, because it's 36 years ago this had happened, and my family are forever grateful for what the captain did, what the crew people did. And for me to discover that is such a joy for me, to find that missing piece and to say, wow, this is what happened in my past. And today to meet the people and the country and what you did for us, and to thank you is a joy really for my family. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have felt that I needed to show respect and honour to Singapore because Singapore took on my family and the Vietnamese refugees when we were without a home. Now that I'm back in Singapore, I feel that there's a deep connection to paying it forward to the Singapore community by helping the marginalised people in Singapore, those who live in home shelters, the women and children who are escaping domestic violence, who stay at crisis centres. I have a deep sense that these people are just like me. We need a safe place and a refuge to stay in, and I want to go and help these people and support them the way that Singapore supported me.